Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, November the 14th, and yes, I think yesterday I opened by saying November was over halfway gone. November nearly halfway gone, nevertheless. Pretty much all feels the same. It's not going to feel the same for your weekend, however, still looking at a warming trend. Certainly by Sunday and a few days thereafter, we'll enjoy the 50s. Talk to you more about that in just a few moments. We'll talk about, of course, today's statewide recanvass. We'll take a look at Magoffin County's retabulation of the votes and talk about any changes, only a minor change or two, but a few election tidbits to pass along. Also, just a bit more information in regards to that threat against Johnson County schools. We're still trying to find out more. A few details coming in about a pedestrian struck in Paintsville earlier today. And I've got some sporting news, some dates for you that you'll want to make note of for all Hornet fans, and a lot of other news and information before I leave you for this Thursday. With all that out of the way, for a brief intro, happens more often than we would like, that we cover national headlines. We do so tonight in the fashion that sadly we had before, the latest school shooting to take place in America. At a high school just outside of Los Angeles in California, two students identified as a 16-year-old girl and a 14-year-old are dead. 3 other teens were injured. It happened early this morning after a 16-year-old student, the suspect, who was transported to the hospital in critical condition, opened fire at the Saugus High School in California. 6 people, all students, suffered gunshot wounds, and police arrived shortly thereafter, only moments later, at around 7:39 this morning. It was later determined that one of those shooting victims, or one of those individuals that suffered a gunshot wound, I think is more accurate, was the suspect, only identified thus far as a Asian male student who actually turned 16 today. The victims were a 16-year-old girl who passed away less than 2 hours after the shooting, another 14-year-old girl, a 15-year-old female, and a 14-year-old male, as well as another 14-year-old student identified as a male. One of the 14-year-old boys died at the hospital as well. There was also another victim who was injured and taken to the hospital. A total of 7 thus far, 2 dead, from what we understand. A few other details have been released, except we do know what kind of weapon was used. It was a pistol, a semi-automatic .45 caliber. The gun magazine therein was empty, and all rounds had been dispersed. It was recovered at the scene by police. Authorities were able to review security surveillance video that they say clearly showed the suspect pull the handgun and then start to fire, wounding 5 people, killing 2, and then, of course, shooting himself in the head. No motive was immediately known. The investigation, as you could well imagine, continues, and families are going to, of course, continue to try to recover. And maybe those who, of course, directly involved may never. Kentucky, here's some not so good news for you. There's a little bit of good news, but apparently it's not working. While Kentucky does well in the screening category for lung cancer, 4th in the entire United States, we are among the worst for lung cancer rates and survival rates. Kentucky, in fact, has the highest lung cancer rates in the entire nation, as well as the very lowest in lung cancer survival rates, according to the American Lung Association, who says that there is an increasing number of patients who are surviving the disease nationwide, as the 5-year rate is up 21.7% from 10 years ago, when it was just 17.2. However, in Kentucky, we're still close to that 17.2 at 17.5. Lung cancer, of course, also we are reminded by the American Cancer, or the American Lung Association, is extremely fatal because many people, most, are not diagnosed until it is no longer treatable. Only about 21% of all the cases of lung cancer in the United States are diagnosed early. Well, we have an update for you, with a general consensus being that it still stinks. A bill has been pre-filed today in Kentucky aiming at ending daylight savings time by District State Representative Robert Goforth of the 89th District, he says we need to lock the clock, his terminology, saying that he does think he has enough support, both sides of the aisle, to make this happen. He has pre-filed the bill to see that daylight savings time dies. Of course, an update is being that a lot of other states have done so. Similar bills have been brought. They have not all passed, and there are some other pending in parts of the United States. Right now, that might be one of our people poll questions for next week's edition of the Salyersville Independent. Our local Recanvass results and those statewide are next.
I'm Bill Tinker. I've spent the past 19 years defending insurance companies in car crashes, truck crashes, and slip and falls. Are you involved in a case like that? Is the insurance company giving you the runaround about your medical bills, your benefits, or your lost wages? Contact me at McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Salyersville. We have finally done it. After years and years of extensive testing, we not only invented the chicken sandwich, we have perfected the chicken sandwich. Come and try it and love it with a big, famous dipped breast strip, pickles and mayonnaise, or however you like it fixed. And if you like, make it a double. Just make your way to Lee's to get it, and grab a cookie while you're there. At your Salyersville Lee's famous recipe, where even our ice is famous. You're going to absolutely fall in love with all the new arrivals at the seasonal shop, from all the autumn colors and styles in ladies' designs, shoes and accessories, Charlie Page, Mud Pie, you know the name brands, to jewelry, Simply Southern, Natural Life, caps, cups, and more, to rooms of home decor. And all you'll need to decorate for the fall and Halloween seasons, plus everything from coffees to candles, but hurry, because everything Christmas is already arriving daily and will be out soon, and fall will be gone before you know it. At Frazier's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Salyersville. I'm trying to find out some more details, but I did confirm with a sheriff's deputy in Johnson County that there was a car versus pedestrian incident on the Starfire Hill or in that location earlier today in Paintsville. That is really all we know. We believe it to possibly be a resident of a assisted or long-term living care center there. We know that that individual was life flighted for what was deemed to be serious injuries. That's all that I could confirm before airtime. I've also been able to confirm very little else, but at least the age of the individual who authorities apparently did detain regarding some sort of threat that was made towards Johnson County schools yesterday. Classes were back in session, and all was considered to be safe and well today in the Johnson County School District after Superintendent Tom Cochran sent out a public announcement to parents, students, and everyone in the Johnson County School District community, advising them that he had received notification from law enforcement of a generalized threat towards schools. And after working with local law enforcement, they were able to identify the individual and detain them, saying that students were never in any danger related to this incident, and citing safety as his and the highest priority as well of the Johnson County School District. No other information has been released, but I've been able to determine and confirm that the person detained and taken into custody was a juvenile. There was no mention yesterday as to whether or not the individual was a student, a juvenile, an adult, or what have you, but we have confirmed it to be a juvenile who was taken to the Boyd County Juvenile Detention Center on unknown charges. Well, the verdict is in after all 120 Kentucky county clerks have sent in their election Recanvass results to the Office of the Secretary of State, that being, of course, Allison Grimes. Vote totals in the largest voting districts, Jefferson and Fayette County, remain unchanged from election night, with only, as far as I know, the most minor of changes reported across the entire state that did not affect the governor's race. And McGoffin County's Recanvass, too, unchanged from election night.
Bevan, 1629. Brashear, 1968. Hicks, 77. Write-in, 0. If you want a copy, they'll be in my office, 50 cents a page. Take it down, let them that's it.
From what we know, only one race pertaining to a write-in candidate was where any change was reported, with Secretary of State Allison Lundgren Grimes saying that all 120 Kentucky counties have reported their recanvassing results. Morgan County was the last county to officially do so earlier this afternoon. And Governor Matt Bevin says that he will not contest the election results, giving a statement that said in part, quote, "It isn't fair to throw that on our legislature to try to find something that just isn't there. We know of some things," he says, "but not enough to cause us to think there's going to be a meaningful change." Bevin also saying that he and his office are working to make a smooth transition happen with Governor-elect Andy Beshear's office, while the governor-elect says that he was thankful for Beshear's concession given earlier today, and that Beshear's administration has been assisting quite helpfully in the transition. The new governor of Kentucky will be inaugurated officially on December the 10th. Andy Beshear will be the second Beshear to hold the office, of course, the first being his father, and he will also be the 63rd governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Today's recanvass, of course, held after requested by the governor after just a little more than 5,000 votes separated the two candidates on election night, with Governor Bevin refusing to concede on that occasion and also citing irregularities, people being turned away from the polls, even mentioning McGoffin County as a troubled area with voter fraud, but no evidence or fraud of any of that was ever deemed to be credible.
So what are you watching at Thanksgiving? Welcome to my vlog. Make sure to leave a comment. Black Friday sales are going to be huge this year. And
adults and their phones.
it's going to be a low-carb meal.
All right. Hand them over.
Appalachian Wireless always wants you to get the most out of your phones, but we also encourage you to set them down and enjoy time with your loved ones. Happy Thanksgiving from your friends at Appalachian Wireless.
From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Salyersville. 349-8785. At Salyersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Salyersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Salyersville National. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConnellyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by for huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Connelly Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. Right now, for pennies on the dollar, a huge selection of like-new laptop computers, a fresh stock of video games, the Cadillac of dog tracking and training systems, new hunting rifles, accessories, and ammo. And they always stock, buy, sell, and pawn gold and silver coins and jewelry with a new selection just in at Parkway Gun and Pawn in Salyersville, 349 Pawn. Well, a brief community calendar doesn't happen very much. Gives me a chance to remind you the calendar announcements are free. That's birthdays and anniversaries too, and you can have them on the program here just by getting them to me any way you like. Our reminder tonight about our big Christmas celebration, which is not all that far away. In 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks and a day or so, but in almost 3 weeks, we'll be celebrating the Salyersville Hometown Christmas Celebrate with Family events. Saturday, December the 7th, pictures with Elsa starting at 4, for refreshments at 5, the tree lighting at 5:30, and the ever wonderful parade at 6 o'clock. And the Salyersville Hometown Christmas Committee is urging all businesses to decorate your windows downtown, and of course all residents of Salyersville to do the same for judging, which will take place the week of December the 2nd through the 6th. And we're urging you to use our community calendar. This is about a brief of one as we've had in a while, but nevertheless, if you want your announcement on it, and that's birthdays and anniversaries too, this is how you get that information on your news today. In nightly obituaries brought to you by the McFarland County Funeral Home, 61-year-old Jeannie Lou Kraft Bailey is going to be laid to rest following services that will begin tomorrow morning in her honor at 11. Preceded in death by her husband Ad, she's survived by son Sidney Brian Kraft and daughter Rebecca Lynn Johnson. Visitation tonight, services tomorrow morning at 11 from the McFarland County Funeral Home. And we've just learned of the passing of Grant Dink Helton of Salyersville, who passed away on yesterday's date. Dink is survived by his wife, Donna Faye Watson Helton, and daughters Amanda Jean Helton and Jamie Lynn Helton and Alice Helton. Visitation will be after 6 o'clock tomorrow and all day Saturday and prior to Sunday services that will begin at 1 o'clock from the McFarland County Funeral Home. Burial will be at the Helton Cemetery at Coon Creek. And lastly tonight in obituaries, 43-year-old Patricia Ingram of Salyersville passed away earlier today. I'm told arrangements are incomplete but being made at this hour and to be announced soon on behalf of the McFarland County Funeral Home. A few things in sports to pass along to you tonight. You can find out more in this week's edition of the Salyersville Independent, still hot on newsstands earlier today, fresh off the presses, so to speak. But in the sporting world, a reminder that the boys and girls high school basketball programs will showcase their season, or at least the beginning thereof. Maroon and White Night, the shootout set for Friday, November the 22nd. The preseason high school basketball event sets for 6 o'clock that evening. That is a week from tomorrow at the McFarland County High School. Of course, Maroon and White Night is still one of the biggest fundraisers of the year, if not the biggest. A lot of fun, a lot of food, a lot of ways to come out and show your support for the Hornets. A week from tomorrow, I'll remind you next week. As for the boys program, they will face from the 14th region Powell County in their second preseason scrimmage on Saturday the 30th. The following Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Paintsville High School. The Hornets open preseason practice mid-October. I can attest that the boys have been working very, very hard. And coming up very soon, the McFarland County High School cheerleading program is hosting their 2019 Hornet Cheer Fest this Saturday. The annual youth cheerleading clinic will be held in the high school gym 9 till noon. You can register for the Hornet Cheer Fest at 8:30 that morning. The youth cheerleading clinic is open to any child. Both individuals and teams may attend the clinic. Participants will receive instruction in motions, jumps, stunts, and more. Those who attend get a free t-shirt. Lunch will be provided as well. In addition to the instruction and material covered during the clinic, participants will be showcasing a performance during Maroon and White Night. The cost of the clinic is $25 per child. For more information, call 349-2011 or cheerleading coach Devin Helton at 884-7324 at North McFarland, where she is works in the Family Youth Service Resource. You know what I'm saying, right? That's where you can find Miss Helton. With that said, here's your forecast where we're saying it's going to be warmer and sunnier still, just a little slow to get there. No big changes, no sign of precipitation, and temperatures slowly climbing upward to the 50s by the end of the weekend at least. And more sun than anything else weather-wise. A low of 25 degrees for the rest of your Thursday. Partly cloudy skies and nothing more than a calm wind will wrap it all up for this evening. We'll hit the upper 40s tomorrow to the tune of 47, mostly sunny degrees on your Friday. Doesn't feel that bad if you can find the sunshine. And you will tomorrow, mostly sunny. Nighttime lows for the next couple of days still in the 20s at 26 tomorrow night under partly cloudy skies. Saturday, more sunshine, more 40s, still right around 46 or so. Maybe a light northeasterly wind Friday night and Saturday as well, 5 to 7 miles per hour. And Saturday night will fall back to the 20s for the last time for a few days thereafter. We'll hit the 50s on your Sunday, wrapping up the weekend, mostly sunny, 53. Some heavy cloud cover Sunday night that don't look to make any precipitation, but mostly cloudy and just above the freezing mark at 33 to round out and finish the weekend. Mostly cloudy skies will continue on into your Monday. Temperatures still continuing in the low 50s and still mostly cloudy Monday night. Still not making any rain and a low of 36 degrees. The next shower chances we have will roll in on Tuesday after all of those clouds, with still continuing mostly cloudy skies Tuesday and about a 20% chance of showers pretty much across the board on and off on Tuesday and into your Tuesday night. Temperatures still in the lower 50s and upper 30s for Tuesday as well. And Wednesday of next week, those slight shower chances from your Tuesday will be gone. We'll still be in the lower 50s with some more sunshine to return. That's it for this Thursday. We've got a lot of news to wrap up this week on when we see you back here next time. Good night. Get a copy of the Salyersville Independent. You never know what you're missing until you get one, and we'll see you tomorrow.